What's up, guys? Welcome back to The Last Word. Today is the first episode of a new segment we like to call FaceOff.
Today, we do not have Scott Gewurz or Fletcher Ferris, but that's because they just both suck, you know?
I understand, Scott. You have the flu. Fletcher.
Okay, we understand.
Fletcher, we will never forgive.
Yeah, we will never forgive you.
However, we thought this would be a good opportunity to record an idea we've had for some time, which is where we take two opposing views and we argue it. And there doesn't have to be a conclusion. However, we would like a discussion in the comments section about what view they agree with the most. Because, once again, the great thing about starting off small with The Last Word
we hear your opinions.
Exactly. We can hear your voice. And we can hear your opinions, and we can comment back on it, and we can have a nice little discussion. So, today's topic, who is the greatest basketball player of all time?
LeBron James
or
Michael Jordan?
Disclaimer, I will be on the side of LeBron James today. However, I do believe Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time.
As do I, as does everyone here at The Last Word.
But today I'll be arguing that LeBron is the greatest of all time.
All right. We'll have Chuck start us off.
Michael Jordan is considered to be probably one of the most natural scorers. Probably one of the most athletic guys to ever play in the NBA. He is one of the best dunkers, one of the best mid-range shooters, one of the best, dare I say, three-point shooters. When he got hot, he could drain them like nobody else. Yet LeBron James is higher than him on the all-time scoring list. And still manages to average more assists than him and more rebounds than him per season.
All right.
How is this? Maybe because LeBron is the greatest of all time?
Okay. I just want to bring up the fact that, yes.
It's going to be because Jordan didn't play more seasons.
No, that's not what I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
LeBron James. Yes, he has more points, but one, he has played more seasons, all right? And two,
Told you.
biggest one is pace. The pace in the NBA is different today and faster than it was back in the 90s. And MJ still managed to be the scoring leader 10 times out of his 14-year career.
You bring up a good point about today's NBA, Nicholas.
Don't call me Nicholas.
Nicholas Massimo DeRay.
You forgot the other middle name.
I know I did.
Alessandro.
Yes, Alessandro Massimo DeRay. That will forever live on YouTube. You bring up a good point about today's NBA. Stephen Curry is the greatest shooter of all time and one of the greatest point guards of all time.
We all agree on that.
And LeBron James has had to go up against him countless times in the NBA Finals. Another amazing player who has played, Kobe Bryant. LeBron James has had to match up with him multiple times in his career. Michael Jordan, the greatest player Michael Jordan has ever had to play against.
Hakeem, the fifth best player of all time.
Okay, that is Nicholas's list. We do not agree with that.
You did agree with that.
No, we did not.
Hakeem is the greatest defender of all time. But I'm just saying, MJ did have good competition. He did match up
Hakeem is
up against
statistically the greatest defender of all time.
Okay, MJ for sure did play some great competition. You can't deny that. Stockton and Malone.
I am not
Stockton
denying
and Malone is an example of that.
I'm not denying that for one second. I am not denying that for 1 second.
Okay, let me say something. All right?
Okay.
People always talk, MJ has lost early on in the playoffs multiple times.
Correct.
That was early on in his career, right?
Correct.
And that was against the super team Celtics. And that team
Correct. It was late 80s.
was one of the greatest teams of all time.
Yes.
All right? 2, MJ. Yes, he has had a couple of super teams over his career. But that's because he made his team so much better. All right? I mean, you look at the team when MJ left, sure, they didn't change that much in wins in the season. But look at the playoffs. Where did they go in the playoffs at that point when MJ wasn't playing? And that was because he retired to go play baseball, multi-sport. But MJ is easily one of the best players of all time. He missed 2 years of his prime. All right? And then still managed to come back and finish with 30,000 points. I believe third or second in steals of all time. And he still has 10 scoring championships. I mean, like scoring leaders.
I am not debating that he was a great scorer.
He is easily one of the
with
greatest
all these
scorers of all
scoring
time. And then
championships,
also look at his defense.
So I don't get to
His
talk
defense,
anymore.
yes, you don't get to talk right now. His defense is easily one of the greatest He's easily one of the greatest defenders of all time. And
yeah, he is the greatest defender of all
he's
time.
He's the
100%
greatest
agree.
shooting guard defender for sure. All right.
Yeah, greatest defender of all time.
Maybe not as close. Okay, maybe not the greatest defender of all time. He's up there,
Yes, he is.
for sure. Top 3 in my opinion. But I mean, you look at MJ, and in these seasons, like for example, 92-93, he averaged 2.8 steals. Last year, and also that's on less possessions for each team per game.
Correct.
All right. Last year, in a much faster pace. The steals leader had only 2.2. All right?
Also, I'll bring up a point about that. Ball handling has gotten ridiculously better in today's era.
That's true. But there was also
Especially
some pretty
because
good ball handlers back in the day.
There were some okay ball handlers.
There was some very solid.
I'll give you like Allen Iverson, like mid '90s. I will give
That's
you
true.
that. And I will give you maybe a little bit of Stockton just because he knew how to
He knew
how to move the ball.
He knew the
around.
fundamentals.
I'll give you an Isaiah Thomas. on the Bad
was
Boy
a
Pistons.
However,
most of the guards were just like the small white guys who could just shoot and pass.
That's true.
And Michael Jordan, being the gifted athlete that he was able to take advantage. LeBron James is playing against men.
That's true.
Men have gotten faster
people
and
have gotten
stronger.
I wouldn't say stronger. There's stronger. There was definitely some
other
players.
than like Wilt Chamberlain.
No. Let's talk about this real quick.
Wilt was a beast.
I want to talk about this. You see the NBA players today. They're more athletic. I'll give you that.
Correct.
They're faster. I'll give you that. Not so sure on the stronger. You look at guys like Kareem, David Robinson. Those guys are 2 of the rippedest players ever in the NBA. Early Shaq.
I'll give you Karl Malone as
Early Shaq. All right?
Mm-hmm.
All these players are ripped. You can't say that MJ wasn't. You can't say MJ was going against plumbers because he was going against early amazing players in the 2000s like Shaq.
All those players you listed were big men.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're debating the steals
But
topic,
he's also known. He's also known for
debating the
driving
steals
him.
topic.
He's known. One of his best qualities is driving to the basket.
Yeah,
and he was
finishing
driving against
acrobatically.
these guys.
And finishing acrobatically.
And also you're forgetting guys like Mutombo. Mutombo was one of the greatest times.
Yes.
Yeah, like this guy is legitimately going up against difficult competition. You can't.
Absolutely.
You can't say that MJ didn't go up against great competition.
Oh no, I'm not.
I'm not sure.
I'm not absolutely.
I don't think he went up against his competition as good as LeBron. I say, like in the Warriors, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at LeBron. LeBron also had some pretty great teams over the year. I mean, like the only championships that he has won, he had Chris Bosh and D Wade in one
in their
in two.
prime.
In their prime.
D Wade a little bit out of his prime, but Chris Bosh.
I don't know.
D Wade was losing a step.
Yeah, a little
He was
bit.
losing a step.
And then you look at the other team, and it was Kyrie and Kevin Love, and a pretty
Both playing at a high level.
supporting cast. All right, you look at MJ's.
Smith.
I mean, I know '96. I mean, he had, of course, Scottie
Probably
Pippen
the
and
best
Dennis
rebounder
Rodman.
of all time and one of the best perimeter defenses
Yeah,
of all time.
but you also have Kyrie, who's one of the best, ball handlers.
One of the best ball handlers.
And then
one
you
of the
also have
best-
Kevin Love, who's a godly rebounder, but not as good as Dennis Rodman,
not as good.
obviously.
Not as good as like
But like,
his Timberwolf days, but yeah.
but well, I mean, that's because he had to work with.
It's because
LeBron.
he had to work with Tristan Thompson.
No, he worked with LeBron. I mean, think about this. You look at the stats of some players. I mean, this year, I think LeBron's killing it with AD because AD's a little bit of a different style player. You look at these
this
stats
year's
of
really
Chris
working
Bosh and Kevin Love before and after they joined sides with LeBron. They lowered every single stat in every single category. All right? That's because they had to suffer through playing with LeBron. People have to
He's ball
give
dominant.
up.
He's ball dominant.
Yeah, people have to give up stats just to play with LeBron.
What was Scottie Pippen's
Scottie Pippen's
career average in points?
Scottie
Not
Pippen,
for a certain season, career average.
I think it was like 16, but let me check.
And Jordan was what?
30.1. 30.1 is the highest player over Wilt.
So his second best player on his team was getting 16 points a game. No. Answer my question.
Yeah, 16 points per game. Kyrie averaged 27 in the finals when they will beat the Warriors.
Okay.
So
that kind of refutes that point then.
what do you mean?
If Jordan's ball dominant and he's getting 38 of those points, his second best player is getting 16.
The 1 year...
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying.
Hold on.
Absolutely not.
The 1 year...
I am making a point and you are being very rude right now.
I want to make my point.
No. This is the point I have been making.
Mm-hmm.
You are claiming LeBron James is ball dominant. I am not refuting that. LeBron James is absolutely
MJ is as ball
But to
dominant.
say MJ is not ball dominant
But
is just not true. His
but
second
also,
best player that he played with for his entire career
known as
averaged
LeBron,
16 points for his entire career.
A player like LeBron, a guy that's a passer, a guy that's supposed to be setting up players, which everybody nuns him for. These guys were still lowering their stats, and not by just a little. They were going down by 6 points plus. All right, I want you to look at 92
they were
to 93.
No longer the number one option on their team.
This was the year that MJ went out, right? 92, 93, and 93, 93, 94,
93,
94,
94,
95.
a little bit of 94, 95.
All right. He went up by 2 points.
Scottie Pippen did.
That's it. 2 points.
Who else was on the roster?
2 points. Let's look at the roster. Oh, shoot. I clicked the wrong thing.
Because if Ron Harper's on that team, I want to get Ron Harper's stats.
There was Scott Williams, Bill Wennington, Will Perdue, John Paxson, Pete Myers, Luke Longley.
Paxson was still on that team?
Yeah.
Look at
Tony Kukoc.
Yeah.
That guy's pretty good.
It's good coach.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
I know
Stacey
you don't.
King,
You never know how to
Steve
pronounce
Kerr, Dave Johnson, Horace Grant, JoJo English, Bill Cartwright, Corey Blount, and B.J. Armstrong.
I want you to look up Paxson, Cartwright, and Kerr.
Shoot, man, you're having me look up a lot of people.
Yep, I know.
Cartwright was at the very end of his career, and it was averaging 4 points.
4 points, okay.
Who was the other guy? Horace Grant is what you said?
No, not Horace Grant. John Paxson.
John Paxson, hold up. John Paxson was averaging 2.6 points.
Okay, who started at point guard then?
Tony Kukoc, who was the best player on that team other than Scotty. And he was averaging 15 points.
Okay, so that's respectable.
And
who was starting at point guard?
Hold up.
Because it wasn't Paxson.
Horace Grant averaged 15 points too.
Okay.
And their starting point guard, I believe, was Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr.
Did Steve start?
Yeah.
Or was it him or BJ?
I think it might have... it was BJ. BJ also averaged 14.8.
Okay.
But Scotty didn't go up by that much. A guy known like LeBron, who's supposed to be setting up players according to his fans, these guys are still lowering in all of their stat categories.
Well, this is where you're wrong, Nick. I'm not a fan of LeBron, so therefore I can't say that he's one of the best.
I want to talk about this year though. I mean, I agree. LeBron this year has been killing it. I mean, I think he's averaging 11 assists or something like that. Mm-hmm. Crazy.
He's leading the league in assists.
Yeah. LeBron is killing it
at
right now.
34.
At 34. But
he is 34 years of age.
All right.
16th year in the NBA. And he's leading the league in assists while being the best player on the best team in the NBA. It is his 16th year. Jordan played for 16 years.
I want you to hear
Jordan
something.
Played for 16 years.
I want you
he
to
was
hear
on the
something.
Wizards. He was on the Wizards.
When MJ was 34, he led the league in points with 28.7.
LeBron has like 28.7 points.
26.
Okay, well, he's also leading the league in assists, which apparently is what he's supposed to be doing, and he's doing it fantastically.
He has 1.7 steals.
He is also killing it with
steals.
Rebounds and destroying the
I want you to also
triple-doubles.
remember the 97-98 finals, all right? When MJ practically carried the Bulls that finals. Because by this point, everyone was older, right?
LeBron didn't carry his team to the finals.
His finals
against probably the best team of all time.
You know, his Utah series, he averaged 33.5. This was when he was 34.
LeBron
33
carried
no,
the team.
shut up. 33.5. 2 steals.
Who's second best
That's a lot.
player?
2 turnovers. His second best player was Scotty, but Scotty was averaging, let's see this. Hold up. Scotty, at this point, was averaging, 19 points, but he was also injured, I believe, in the finals.
Okay.
Yeah, played 25 minutes. In his last 2 games, he had 6 points and 8 points.
So you're telling me
Yes, I'm telling you.
LeBron James did not carry his team
He did carry his team. Of course he did.
through 3 series in the Eastern Conference.
Okay, let's talk about the Eastern Conference.
He had to go through Victor Oladipo during one of his
And the
greatest
Celtics,
seasons.
he had to go against Jason Tatum, but that's
We're
it.
not going to talk about the Celtics. The Celtics should
Pacers,
They
sure.
should. They should
The
have lost
Pacers
that
were
series.
pretty
The
good.
Pacers were absolutely.
The
killing
Pacers
it.
were a solid team.
It was a 4 series.
Yeah, don't get me
it was
wrong,
A
the
4
Pacers were a
5
solid
seed
team.
series. Victor
But
Oladipo's having his
don't
best
tell
season.
me-
Victor Oladipo was killing it. They go 2-0, and LeBron comes back and
But
kills.
MJ
LeBron comes back and
MJ
kills
won
them.
the chip,
LeBron
though.
comes
Let's talk
back.
about this.
Okay, well,
MJ won the chip.
Well,
And he
LeBron had to
played
go up against
the Jazz.
And
he played
had-
against the Jazz.
And LeBron had to go
with
up
no
against the
help.
greatest shooter of all time and probably the greatest scorer of all time, as well as the greatest
And got
spot-up shooter of all
swept.
time,
And
and one of the
got
greatest
swept.
role players of all time.
And got
one of the
swept.
greatest role players, one of the 2 of the greatest shooters, and the greatest scorer of all time, followed by one of the best offenses
but
that has ever
Who
been
did
seen
he
in
play?
the NBA.
Who did he play to get there? Who did he play to get there?
Victor Oladipo.
That's it, all right? MJ had to play against several great players. And then he comes
Name
up
'em.
and beats Stockton and Karl Malone
Yes.
in the finals.
Correct.
All right? That's pretty crazy.
Correct.
He had to play.
You know who was guarding him?
He had to play.
You know who was guarding Michael
yes,
Jordan?
who?
Jeff Hornacek.
Who?
Exactly.
Sorry, I
Jeff
was paying
Hornacek.
attention. No, I was looking at the
Jeff
stats.
Hornacek was guarding Michael Jordan.
He had to go
For that
MJ.
series,
MJ had to go
Jeff
against the Pacers.
Hornacek
This
was
is funny.
guarding him.
MJ also had to go against the Pacers, but he had to
Who
go
did the Pacers
against.
even have in the 90s?
They actually had some
Like
pretty good
Detlef
players.
Schrempf?
They had Chris Mullin. They
Okay.
had Reggie Miller. They had
Okay, well,
they
Reggie
had
Miller.
Antonio Davis, who's pretty good.
Chris Mullin at the end of his career.
Chris Mullin. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, pretty much.
Was Detlef Schrempf on that team?
Yeah, Detlef Schrempf.
I nothing but respect for Detlef Schrempf. I love Detlef Schrempf.
Wait, where is he? No, he's not on there. Weird. But he still had to go against some pretty great teams, and then he had to play. Okay, yeah, he played the Hornets, but that's not that good. but he
You
did-
know how we feel about the Hornets. Actually, low-key, the Hornets are doing pretty
Dude,
decent
I'm
this
proud of them this year. Good for them.
Yeah.
You know, we had a lot of shit for them.
We had a episode planned until Fletcher flaked out on us.
Yeah.
And I was going to say some really nice things about the Hornets, but you know what? Okay, back to the argument. LeBron is the greatest player of all time.
All right. Okay. Also, MJ 6 finals. No, let's get to this because this is the classic. 6
Yeah.
finals.
Y'all know
6
it was coming.
straight.
When y'all knew
6
it was coming.
finals MVPs.
Y'all knew it was coming.
All right.
Y'all knew it was coming.
And then-
LeBron James has not won an NBA Finals where he has not
5
been the
MVPs.
MVP.
5 MVPs. 1 defensive player of the year.
Yep.
1 defensive player of the year.
Yep.
All right. LeBron. No defensive player of the year.
3 Finals MVPs.
And only 4 MVPs.
Only 4. Only 4.
Only 4.
Only 4.
Only 4.
Only 4. And
All of these guys bow down to Kareem. But yeah, no. MJ has just so many accolades, right? And he played great competition in his career. You
LeBron
can't say
James
that
has
he
the
didn't.
most All-Star appearances.
How many more years has he played? How many more years?
2.
2 more years?
Yeah.
2 more years?
2 more years.
How many more All-Star games?
It may or may not be 2.
How many did MJ skip in his prime? 2, and then plus 3 because he left for 3 years.
And then he went to the Wizards.
Actually played pretty well.
No, he destroyed his legacy, dude.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Absolutely destroyed his legacy.
I mean, he averaged.
He could have walked out
Oh,
champion. He could have walked out a champion.
He averaged
A 6-0
20
champion.
23 points. And that's the first year at the Wizards. 20 points next year.
How many shots?
On let's see. Hold up, my phone is slow as
Because he was like
on 45% the last year and 42%
That's
second
horrible.
year. 45% is good.
42's horrible.
42% is like Westbrook, I will admit.
40.
But
wait, how many points did he average that year? The 42.
23.
I rest my case.
Who else did the Wizards have? And he still, this, don't forget,
No one.
this was 38-year-old MJ.
Yeah.
38, and he still averaged 1.4.
And I guarantee you.
Nope, he still averaged 1.4 steals.
Yeah, good for
All
him.
right, and then
Good
the
for him.
second
I guarantee
year,
you 4 years from now, LeBron's going to do the same
1.5
thing.
steals,
Guarantee you 4 years from now, LeBron's going to do the same thing.
1.5
And if
steals.
LeBron does, he will be the greatest player of all time. A better
God, he
rebounder.
will never be the
a
greatest player.
better passer. A more athletically gifted
Okay,
man.
he is a stronger person, but he's not more athletic. MJ had a 48 incher, and LeBron had a 44.
I'm so glad that
MJ was also
I'm
faster.
so glad that you said that, Nick.
MJ was also faster.
MJ is light and aerodynamic, which allows him, with his strength, to get up to 48 inches. LeBron is
LeBron.
a tank. He is a absolutely massive human being.
That's
He is
true.
a 6'8", 250-pound monster, and he can still get up to 44 inches in the air. That
pretty good.
is unreal.
Yeah, but MJ was also getting a 40-inch vertical. I don't think you realize how unhuman a 48-inch vertical is.
Well, that's jumping 4 feet up in the air, so it's pretty insane.
4 feet
That's pretty insane.
in the air.
That's like a 5-year-old. That's
That
pretty
is
crazy.
absurd.
That's pretty crazy.
That is absurd.
It's absolutely
Alright.
absurd.
MJ was
It's
out
pretty crazy,
here
man.
dunking on guys like
It's pretty crazy.
Mutombo, who
pretty
was a
crazy.
4-time defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
All right. Arguably one of the greatest defensive players of all time at the center position.
Maybe top.
Top 5 at the center.
Top 5. Yeah, I'd give you top 5.
Yeah. All right. And then he also had to play against Hakeem, the greatest defensive center of all time.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And
That's an argument for a different time.
no, I want to say this because if you have a question about this,
Well-
Hakeem was somehow managing last year in his best year for defense. All right, he would have led the league in both rebounds and steals.
Yes.
All right, as a center.
Yes.
As a center.
Okay.
All right, that is absurd. His best year defensively, 4.6. Okay, I'm sorry. That was the one before that. 3.9 blocks and 2.2 steals.
Well, good
All
for
right?
Hakeem.
That's absurd.
That's pretty good
All
for
right.
Hakeem.
And this was while carrying his team. All right. And then another year, he averaged 4 blocks
Carrying his team, he had Clyde Drexler.
4 times. 4 times. All right.
4 times.
4 times. All right. He averaged 2 steals, 2+ steals actually. He had 2.6 steals one year, several times. All right. This guy is definitely
LeBron
the
had to
best
go up
defensive-
against Tim Duncan.
Cool, Tim Duncan. Yeah, Tim Duncan's good, and then got bodied by Shaq. To be honest,
How did he get bodied by
he
Shaq?
did get bodied by
I
Shaq.
don't doubt
They
it.
had to double team him in the I think it was 2002 finals. Don't remember.
You said the finals.
No, somewhere around
The
there. What
finals?
Yeah, no, hold on.
The finals.
Wait, no, sorry, my bad. Western Conference
His
Finals.
basketball credibility.
I meant Western
just
Conference Finals.
went
Shut up.
Out the window.
I meant
Because
Western
he
Conference
thinks
Finals.
that Tim Duncan.
The Spurs,
and
the
Shaquille
Spurs are in the
O'Neal
Western Conference. The
met
Lakers are in
up.
the Western Conference. I know this. I just missaid my word. All right, I do that sometimes. All right,
And then notice how he gets so defensive after
because
this.
he is full of accusations. All right, but this is besides the point. Let's continue talking about MJ. All right.
How LeBron's the greatest? Yeah, I agree. Let's keep talking about that.
All right. I want to say this, all right? After LeBron's 14th season, all right? And this was MJ obviously played 14 seasons.
Okay.
There's this list that went out.
Okay.
3 more rings, 3 more Finals MVPs.
Okay.
1 more Defensive Player of the Year. Yes, I know that kind of sometimes sounds kind of BS because he might have deserved it in I think it was 2011, 2010.
Who? LeBron?
LeBron.
LeBron got it.
No, he didn't. Never had a Defensive Player of the Year. Lost to Marc Gasol.
Right. My bad. Marc Gasol didn't win it in 2011. It was 2012. But yeah, you're right.
All right.
He should have won it in 2012.
1 more MVP.
Marc Gasol didn't. beat
9 more scoring titles.
Yeah, because
3 more steals leaders.
LeBron. Is
3
a
more
passer.
steals leaders.
LeBron is a passer.
3 more all defensive team selections.
LeBron is a passer.
4,000 more points.
Not anymore.
800 more
LeBron
steals.
passed him on points.
800 more steals.
How old is this list? LeBron has passed him on points.
This was, I said, compared to 14 years to 14 years.
Oh, compared to 14 years.
And don't forget, this is also LeBron at the end of his career when he was 39, was his 14 years. 4,000 more points, 800 more steals, beat 20 50-plus win teams in the playoffs. LeBron only beat 10, all right? Jordan never averaged less than 40% field goal in the finals, and LeBron did it twice.
Yep.
All right?
Because he got there when he was so young.
LeBron had much more help. And that's debatable. That's what this list said. That's not my opinion. That's debatable.
Okay. We can debate that because I have some opinions about that. Because when you're second best player, is
Jordan
Williams
had
and you make it to
never
the
had a
finals.
teammate average more than 22 points in the finals. Kyrie averaged 28, and D Wade averaged more.
Because LeBron is a passer.
MJ never ever had a finals meltdown like LeBron did in 2011. You gotta give me that one. You gotta give me that one.
How long is this episode? Okay.
It's only 30 minutes.
Okay.
All
We'll keep this one short.
MJ has more points in the playoffs in less games. All of this accomplished in 13 seasons. LeBron is in his 14th season with still chasing the ghost that played in Chicago. This is this last time I'm not saying this.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
MJ in the playoffs has put up at least 45-5 in 6 different playoff series, along with an average of 55% from the field, 3 steals and 2 blocks. I want you to admit this though.
Okay.
2 blocks as a guard.
Yeah.
As a guard.
Yeah.
It's close with D Wade as who's the better blocking guard. I personally
I'd
have
say
MJ.
it's D Wade.
I personally say MJ, but it's a discussion for later.
It's a discussion for later.
This guy is so good at defense. Not only would he be able to steal the ball from you, he would be able to block block the absolute crap out of you.
And he was such.
And he was always contesting you. And he is what I like to call both an annoying defender and a lockdown defender.
Mm-hmm.
But he was also a sneaky defender. I have 3 categories. Sneaky is where you try to poke the ball out constantly, right? But that's pretty much every defender. But it's like constantly, all right? There's the lockdown defender, which keeps you from never moving past them, all right?
Well,
and then
so you're saying Pat Bev's the annoying, and then Kawhi.
Kawhi's a lockdown.
Kawhi's a lockdown.
And then a poker is like Kyrie. A poker is Kyrie Irving,
James Harden,
and James Harden, because they average a lot of steals, but they also
but they do it.
give up way more points by just letting them go by them. Mm-hmm. But MJ was able to be all. He was able to be all 3. All 3 of these. All right. MJ's god tier defender,
being one of the greatest defenders of all time, and then
easily
being probably the best scorer of all time, solidify him as the greatest of all time.
Best two-way ever.
I'm so glad you brought this list around the 30-minute mark, because now I can stop pretending to be a LeBron fan.
But
that was agony for me, guys.
Best
Arguing against Michael Jordan was agony for me.
MJ is the greatest player of all time. It's not close.
It's a fact.
It's not close.
For all
not
you,
anymore.
For all you LeBron fans.
I mean, he might go down as the greatest. There's a difference between best and greatest.
Yes.
MJ will always be the best player of all time.
Yes.
Always. The greatest.
Define greatest and best.
Greatest is the legacy, all right?
Okay.
So
how come MJ doesn't have that legacy? Is it because he came back from retirement?
But it's because MJ didn't play as long, all right? The fact that LeBron is going to keep adding these accolades because he's playing longer. Okay. MJ is not going to be able to add these accolades because he only played 14 years.
And that's true, because LeBron's story doesn't have an end yet.
And I think we can leave it at that. LeBron is going to be the greatest player of all time. But MJ will always be the best player.
I don't say we can predict that, because a lot can happen.
Yeah, but
a lot of crazy things can happen.
I mean, if LeBron somehow went off for like 40 points throughout the playoffs this year, and like
honestly,
it could happen.
With the way he's been playing so far this year, it's possible.
I personally think he's still going to take a backseat and give the ball to AD more. I think LeBron is a better player, but his passing.
I'm thinking this season, I agree. The playoffs, I don't, because
I'm not sure.
Always when LeBron turns it on.
I think AD is going to go off
defensively. The fact that he lives with KCP, but
LeBron,
the man. I understand why he had to play with like an anklet, like a police anklet. Bro, he's literally stealing $15 million a year from the Lakers. He does not deserve a $15 million contract. You know who does?
Alex
Caruso. He has been balling.
All right, but
the ball to Mamba.
This is what we're gonna leave it at. MJ will always be the best player of all time. But unless LeBron somehow comes back.
Unless Matisse Thybulle
shut up.
develops a three-pointer.
Right? And LeBron will end up being the greatest player of all time purely because he outlasted him. All right? That's what I'm going to leave it at. Do you have any last words?
I'm gonna disagree with the LeBron.
Do you have any last words?
I'm gonna disagree with the LeBron being the greatest. I think.
Well, finish the greatest.
Yeah.
Not now.
No, I understand that. I think Jordan's legacy will forever trump LeBron's just because Jordan's legacy
leaves it up for that question mark.
Is filled with that question mark, but also it's filled with determined and class and more above all winning.
And
LeBron's
perfection.
Yes. Literally every single part of Jordan's game.
I mean, Jordan could turn it on in any way. If his team needed him to rebound, I know he's athleticism.
Had Dennis Rodman, so he didn't need to.
He didn't need to, but he would be able to.
He would be able to.
If his team needed him to lock down, he would be able to. If his team needed to be a passer, do you remember the time where he averaged? I think it was 30, 11, and 11
when he was point guard.
When he was point guard,
yeah, when he was point guard,
he's a great passer. He just didn't pass because he didn't have
yeah.
that many good players on his team to pass to. All right,
and then when he needed to be a shooter,
when
he got called out for being a shooter. Made 5 threes in the first half and shrugged at Magic Johnson against our Blazers.
But let's be honest, though. Mutombo did hit not Mutombo, sorry.
Manute Bol.
Manute Bol did hit
literally,
6.
They were guarding Jordan. They weren't guarding Manute Bol because it was Manute Bol.
But that's what I'm going to leave.
Yeah,
do you have any, let's be real though, do you have any last words?
We were literally going through my last words and then you interrupted me.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I just think that, look, Jordan's legacy will outlast LeBron just based on the facts that Jordan is just a clear and pure winner. That his determination kind of outlasted everybody else's. He was always the hardest worker on his team. And I'm not saying LeBron's not a hard worker.
He's got that Kobe's got that MJ mentality.
Yeah, Kobe's got that MJ mentality.
MJ doesn't have that Kobe mentality. Honestly. Kobe has that mentality.
Like, Kobe may have took it to some extremes, but Jordan went into the gym and got the job done every single night, regardless of if the AC broke in the arena and he had to be carried off the floor.
My favorite quote from
LeBron,
MJ to Kobe was when he was talking to Kobe. He was guarding him, right?
Was this during the All-Star game?
I'm not sure. I think it might have been. But he says,
I know what you're talking about.
He says, "You may be able to wear my shoes, but you won't be able to fit them."
Yeah. I do remember that.
That is honestly one of the most badass quotes I've ever heard.
And we haven't even discussed Jordan's trash talking.
Yeah. Jordan is the... I would maybe second, because there's Larry Bird.
Larry Bird's the best.
Bird's the best.
Literally...
But
Jordan destroyed Muggsy Bogues' career.
MJ just destroyed everyone's career.
People's careers.
Let's also talk about
words.
this.
MJ,
if MJ never exists, one, there would be a ton of players in the NBA that wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
Because there's LeBron, who also said,
who learned from
this is who I looked up to when I was younger.
Exactly.
Kobe wouldn't be the same, all right? It's because it's kind of like Steph Curry. Steph Curry is going to go down as a greater legacy than people think because he changed the game, all right? MJ changed the game.
And he became a legend.
Yeah, he became a legend for that, all right? There's Dr. J, who personally doesn't get enough credit for changing the league. Wilt changed the league.
Wilt gets tons of credit for changing the league.
Yeah, but let's be real, though. MJ, if he never existed...
The game of basketball was so different.
That Jazz team,
John Stockton might be the greatest point guard of all time.
That Rockets team would go off, where they had Seabark, they had friggin' Clyde Drexler. I know they were kind of older. Hakeem. They all had these players.
Kenny Smith.
But
what you talking about, Chuck?
There would be so many players that would have such greater careers if MJ wasn't existing, and I think that's
but his greatness overshadowed. And that is the big.
I don't think LeBron really has ever. How do I say this?
His greatness has never overshadowed him.
He's never overshadowed.
We have seen him.
I mean, he might have slowed down with the Warriors. He kept them from a 3-peat.
We've seen him be great, but we've never seen his greatness
absolutely
overshadow
dominate someone and he's
always had a right-hand man.
Yeah.
And so did MJ, but LeBron had more help from Kyrie Irving than MJ had from Scottie Pippen.
Exactly.
But again, you can't really
on
compare
the offensive
two different eras, two different everything. But we're saying, based on the eye test, based on the statistics, based on the accolades, Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time.
And the best. And the best. You could argue Shaq if you really wanted to.
You really could.
You
could actually put a decent argument for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as well.
That's one of the
and
saddest
honestly,
things.
that might be next face-off.
Shaq, it makes me so sad for Shaq because Shaq really could have been the greatest player of all time. And if he kept his weight off,
Imagine if he kept his weight off, three-pointer,
dude, or at least a free throw,
yeah.
Dude, if he kept the weight off, man, this guy would have been the greatest player of all time. He was dominant. He overshadowed players. All right, I know Tim Duncan obviously had a great career, but he just murdered him every time they matched up in like the early 2000s. You know, Shaq could have been the best player of all time. Well, you could actually argue in the 1 year that he was. There's LeBron has been close to being the best player of all time, but there's just
He's
MJ.
had moments.
There's just MJ.
There's always that.
Who had 10 scoring titles. 10. That is absurd. That is absurd. No player will ever come close to that. In my opinion.
You never say here, like when a rookie's coming in and he's a great scorer, you never hear he's like the next Kobe or whatever.
Mm.
You always hear
he's the
comparisons
next MJ
to Michael Jordan,
or he's the next LeBron.
Or he's the next LeBron.
Yeah,
you
and
always
that's
hear
the big
comparisons
thing.
to those players, and usually it's based on if they are a scorer first or if they are a passer first.
Uh-huh.
And usually the scorer firsts always turn out right. Like Dwayne Wade, he turned out right. Andrew Wiggins, who was highly compared to LeBron and Kobe, look where he turned out. He's having a great season, but like, come on, let's be real. His career hasn't been the best.
Mm-hmm.
It has always been Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan, his staple on basketball, this is going to be the last word, his staple on basketball has just been something that can never be erased. Can never, ever be erased.
My last thing, all right, before we go, is a quick comparison to MJ to Kobe. I just want to say this real quick because the Kobe fans are still out there.
Kobe fans, we'll make
I love Kobe. Don't get me wrong. Kobe was my guy. I loved Kobe. But my favorite thing is this post, and it compared Kobe's MVP stats to MJ's rookie year.
Okay.
And MJ had better stats on more efficiency.
To be fair, Kobe did get robbed a few times for MVP.
But I don't know about Rob. Steve Nash did carry that team to 60 wins from 20 wins the year previous.
We'll have a face-off. We'll have a face-off on that.
Yeah, but it's just MJ. I personally just think he's just more dominant and just the best player. He literally blows every other player out in pretty much everything. You know, maybe other than accolades. Obviously, Kareem has some of the greatest accolades of all time, but that's another day. MJ is the greatest, best, and most dominant player of all time.
This has been The Last Word.